Hello, I'm Teacher Omar. Let's talk about science. In this video, our topic is about chemical bonding, the most essential learning competency. You should be able to recognize different types of compounds, ionic or covalent, based on their properties such as melting point, hardness, polarity, and electrical and thermal conductivity, and also explained how ions are formed. In grade 7, you have learned that pure substance can be an element or compound. There are 118 different elements in the periodic table. Compound is a combination of two or more elements. For example, water, which is made up of two hydrogen atom and one oxygen atom. Another example is the table salt, which is made up of one sodium atom and one chlorine atom. Now, the big question is, how do elements combine to form compounds? It is through chemical bonding. The force that holds atoms together is known as chemical bond. Bonding between atoms form millions of compounds that are represented in different forms of structure and shapes. There are two major types of chemical bonds, the ionic and covalent bond. Metallic bond is another type, but it is different from the two general types. Now let's discuss ionic bonding. Ionic bonding is formed between metal and non-metal element. Let's take a look at the periodic table. Metalloids are found on the zigzag line. Metal elements are found on the left side of the zigzag line, excluding hydrogen because hydrogen is a non-metal. Non-metal elements are found on the right side of the zigzag line, including noble gases. Metals have low ionization energy, so they tend to lose their electrons. While non-metals have high positive electron affinity, so they tend to gain electrons. In that sense of gaining and losing electrons, ionic bonding is known for the transfer of electrons. Meaning, ionic bonding occurs whenever a neutral atom gains or loses an electron. So we can simply say that ionic bonds are attractive forces or electrostatic forces between opposite charged ions. These are cation and anion. The cation is a positive ion. It formed whenever a metal element loses its electron. An ion is a negative ion. It formed whenever a non-metal element gains electron. Let's take a look at this periodic table. It contains elements with their charged ions. For example, a compound having ionic bond is this table salt, which is made up of one sodium atom and one chlorine atom. Let's take a look how ionic bonding happen in this compound. Sodium has one valence electron. Valence electron is the number of electrons in the outermost shell of an element. Chlorine have 7 valence electrons. In this bonding, sodium will transfer or donate 1 electron to chlorine to complete the 8 electrons in the outermost shell of chlorine, and both became stable. Remember the octet rule. In this sense, when sodium donate electron, sodium becomes positive ions or cation. When chlorine gain electron, chlorine becomes negative ion or anion. This ionic bond creates a compound, sodium chloride. Now, let's learn how do we name ionic compounds. Naming ionic compound is done by naming the metal element first, followed by non-metal element with an IDE ending. Let's take a look at these examples. Lithium sulfide, silver sulfide, magnesium chloride, calcium chloride, magnesium oxide, iron oxide. These are the properties of ionic compound. Now, let's check comprehension. Do activity 2.1 entitled Ionic Bonding. Letter A. Identify which element is cation and anion to the following ionic compounds. Letter B. Write the name of the following ionic compounds.